Anthony, we're here today to talk about how to file an FBAR. You want to file an FBAR to report your highest balance on foreign financial accounts you have signatory interests on. And what you're going to do is walk us step by step through the actual instructions.
That's right. So, and it's also a signatory authority or a financial interest in, and you could have either one or both. So where we're going to want to go, I'm going to show you the first place where you're going to go that you'd be in the wrong place. Okay, if you're getting a screen like this, the BSA e-filing system, and where it says, welcome to the BSA e-filing system, where it asks for your user ID and enter your password, that's in the wrong place. That is for where professionals like us log into to access and file FBARs for clients. If you're an individual looking to file one yourself, this is the page you're going to want to be on. You're going to see the BSA e-filing system. We'll have this link for you. So that's where you're going to want to see. You're going to see two selections. You can see which way you want to do it. Now, what happens is most people go and do the online form because there's some reasons why. But we recommend that you use a PDF form because you can save this PDF if you never need to make changes later on. So it's something we recommend. Now, what happens a lot of times, and this is very common with a lot of forms, is your web browser will try to open up this PDF form in a browser, and you're going to get something that's going to frustrate you a little bit. And it's going to look like... Where is it? Here. It's going to look like this. It's going to say, please wait if this message isn't eventually replaced by the proper contents of the document. Anyway, here's the thing. You need to open it in Adobe Reader. Okay, that's the important thing. However you get that done, that is the important thing because it's going to be very different. It's going to look very different than what we have there. Now let me get into our Adobe Reader. And here we go. We have the Adobe Reader FBAR form. Okay, and so we're going to put in. So we're going to just start. This is the form that we want. So it says we're going to put in Smith FBAR 2013. We're actually we'll just do 2015. And first thing it does is it asks us if it's being filed late. Select the reason for filing late. Well, we're assuming that your 2015 is on time. It's due June 30th of 2016. Of course, next year, those are going to be changing to the date your tax return is due. It gives you a few different reasons why you're filing late. Forgot to file, did not know I had to file, thought account balance was below reporting threshold, did not know my account qualifies as foreign, account statement not received in time, account statement lost, late receiving missing required account information, unable to obtain joint spouse signature in time, unable to access BSA e-filing system, other, provide explanation below. Now, missing an old FBAR might be a simple thing where you're just filing it, but there could be reasons where you might want to go through a streamlined program or an offshore disclosure, depending on what your reasonings are. We're not going to get into that too much. We're just more or less talking about filing an on-time FBAR form here. So that's our home. Now we're going to go with filer information, and we're going to put in year-end 2015. Here's something, if you are amending, and this is really why it's nice to save this as a PDF, because if you do ever make a mistake on an FBAR, you always can amend it, and you get a, you got to put the date in correctly. There we go. And then you'll have a prior report for your BSA identifier. Your first part is part 1. You type a filer, individual, partnership, corporation, consolidated, fiduciary, other. Kind of is a little odd if a FBAR is to report a signatory authority. How does a corporation have a signatory authority? Well, a corporation can have a financial interest in something. So will tend to be an individual can really only sign something. Corporations and partnerships are rather not an entity of their own as individuals. We also have our U.S. taxpayer identification number. So we'll put in our Social Security or TIN or EIN, and it's going to want to know the type down here, EIN. And then your foreign identification if you have a passport, if there's any passport involved. Your date of birth, your last name or the organization's name, partnership or corporation. Your first name, your middle name, suffix, address, state. Of course, a lot of people are overseas. So you might be filing it overseas. Line 14A is if you have a financial interest in 25 or more financial accounts. In a way, it actually can get easier if you do have 25 or more because you could just give us a consolidated report as opposed to having to enter all of these line by line, field by field, which, as we'll see, it does sort of get somewhat onerous. Having 24 accounts is sort of the worst possible thing. Then we're going to click over to, we are on, that was filer information. Now we're going to talk about financial accounts owned separately and joined, and we're going to put in our account value here. And one of the things is you want to make sure if the account did make interest that you put the interest in there. And then here, right here, if you actually don't know, you could put maximum account value unknown. So that's helpful. That does happen in situations. People actually don't know what it is. They have an idea that it's over a certain amount of money, but they don't know the precise number. And if we think about what the FBAR is for, this kind of makes sense because the FBAR really has nothing to do with your income tax. The FBAR is part of the Bank Secrecy Act. The purpose of the FBAR was to crack down on international crime syndicates. I guess we're frustrating them into, I don't know how many people around the globe, international crime syndicates would be interested in going through this. So basically what happens is they don't file it, and it gives the IRS, the U.S., an easy way to assess penalties. And that's really the purpose, is just to sort of trip people up who aren't necessarily putting it in here. So the type of account, bank. Okay, so the bank accounts we pretty much get. That seems like a financial account. Securities is something that comes up. Mutual funds are some things that we have to report. Bonds, anything's in a brokerage account, we have to. A stock that's held, if you're actually holding a stock certificate, that's not something that does go on an FBAR. But there are a lot of things like foreign life insurance is something that goes on. Fixed time deposits. Foreign retirement funds are something that goes on it as well, and this trips up a lot of people. They might have done a FBAR correctly, but they might have left some stuff off. Account number or other designation. Sometimes you don't have an account number, so just put an unknown for certain thing. And then we have our other tab for no financial interest, and we go through. Let me just get down here. This is for where you have a signatory authority, but you don't have financial interest in the account. Let's say that you are handling a custodian account for a client of yours. This is where this would come into play. And it's not your money, but you're signing things on behalf of a client or maybe on behalf of a corporation. This is where this would come into play. Now, what's sort of not so helpful about this and sort of the invasiveness of this and how it is harming some people, U.S. persons around the world, is it wants to know the owner information. So it's not yours, but whose is it, right? But a lot of times the person who owns the account doesn't maybe want to disclose that to the U.S., especially when the person isn't even a U.S. person. But that is what's required. And so many U.S. persons are no longer able to be custodians because this is information they do have to share with the IRS. Now we have where you are filing a consolidated report in part 5, and we are going to have your account values, same sort of things, organization name. Most individuals won't be filing this. And then the signature information, you go back to the home page, and then you'll hit sign the form here. Then you'll hit save. Okay, now you have it saved. All right, great. Now we're going to want to go back to the BSA website. And thank you for that message, honey. And we'll go back to here. We'll start now. And we prepared it, so now we want to submit the FBAR. So we're back here. We've prepared it, so now we're going to submit it. Okay, so now you'll put in your email address, confirm your email address, first name, last name, your phone number, and then you'll select it to upload. When you send it in, you're going to get an email back, and it will have that number of your filing. Remember on the first page we said if you were going to amend a previous one, this is where it will show up on the. It's not the home page. I think it was filer information. Remember, so right here, this is where you would find the prior report BSA identifier. If you are amending an FBAR, so for some of these earlier years, you might not have that. You can enter in all zeros, and that will work. And I think that wraps up how to file an FBAR for an individual.
All right. And if you are concerned that you might have missing or partially correct FBARs, bear in mind that the penalties can be pretty severe. There are disclosure programs. It can be a little confusing. We suggest you get legal advice on how to handle that. If you need assistance, you can contact us. Visit us at irsmedic.com. IRS Medic, the law offices of Parent and Parent, LLP, real tax attorneys for tough tax problems.